Ladies and gentlemen, the CTDF Fantasy Football Show is on the air once again. It is Thursday night, November 12th, 2020. It is just right after a quarter after 10 on the East Coast, quarter after 9 on the Central Time Zone. And we thank you for joining us, however and wherever you're watching us. My name, of course, is Tim Cleland. And, four of these guys right here. First of all, the main brain of sports, John Flynn. How are you?
Hey, 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 what's going on?
Just another week here, and we have our league commissioner, John Natale.
Hey, good to be back.
Always great to have you back. We, of course, have our two-time defending league champion, Will Medina.
The Titans just stopped the Colts on fourth down, but I'm glad to be back. Sorry about last week.
Don't worry about it. No worries. And joining us this week joining us for only the second time this season, he was on our draft show early this season. Our good friend from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Mr. Mark Leota. Welcome, buddy.
It's me, Markio.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, boy. Well, it's great to have you here, Mark. Just sit back and relax. We're going to have some fun because that's what we do all the time on this show. And why don't we go ahead and get started by taking a look at our current standings in our fantasy league. Right now, we still have a three-way tie for first place overall. We got Cedric, we got Will, and we got Andrew. They each have 7-2 records. And next up, let's get a screen back up here again. Oh yeah, next up with a 6-3 record, that's our good friend Adam Oliver. Then we got three teams with a 5-4 record. That would be Natali, myself, and Flynn. We have a 4-5 record with our friend Nels. 3-6, that would be Marty and Spencer. And Mark, I'm afraid you and Miss Erica are bringing up the rear at 1-8.
Yeah, so we have the worst record in the league.
Well, that means that
You
you may be able to get one of the top draft picks for next week.
Next year, you mean?
Yeah, actually next season. That's right. So right now I want to take an interesting look here. If the playoffs were to start this week, and of course we know the top 6 teams advance into the playoffs, we would actually have Cedric taking the number 1 overall seed and Andrew taking number 2. Will would take the number 3 seed. Adam would be number 4. Flynn would be number 5. And Natalie would be number 6. But, of course, anything can happen between now and then. Let's take a look at our matchups for this week. Me and Adam have a matchup. And so far, I have 2 players that are currently playing in the game right now. There is a game, of course, on Thursday Night Football. It's the Indianapolis Colts and the Tennessee Titans. And I've got 2 players on my fantasy team in that game. So far, I've scored 15.6 points. Adam is yet to score. He has a projected total of 126.9, and I have a projected total of 115.1. Again, we are all playing on ESPN.com this year. Another matchup, John Flynn is going up against Miss Erica Saraceno, as she currently has 11.1 points, as she has 2 players from her team in tonight's contest.
Mm-hmm.
And Flynn is yet to score. He's projected to get 163.2. Erica is suggested or projected at 129.6.
Yep.
Then, Mark, you got Spencer right now, and so far, Mark, you've got 31 points. You have only one player in this game, but that's Philip Rivers. Old man Rivers. I still think this is his last season. But anyway, Mark, you have a projected total of 137.8, and Spencer has a projected total of 112.2.
Oh, maybe I'll actually win this week.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, and I've got you next week, Mark.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
great.
How wonderful is that? Looks like Marty and Nels are in a matchup for this week, and Marty's already got 5.5 points from tonight's game. He is projected at 133.4. Nels is projected at 138.4, and Nels so far doesn't have any points. Next matchup we have for this week, we got Cedric against Will. Cedric has 16 points from this game alone so far, projected at 166.7 for the week. And Will is projected total for this week 157.5. So anything can happen there. And last but not least, we got John Talley against Andrew St. Clair. Oh, excuse me. I've had a long day at work today. Right now, Tally's got 4 points so far from one of his players playing tonight. He's got a projected total of 153.2. Andrew has a projected total of 138.2. So we'll just see what happens between now and then.
Yeah, and I want to say something about the matchup between Marty and Nels. That's the toughest matchup for me to decide which one's going to go. But it's going to come down to the Sunday night game because Marty has the Ravens defense, Lamar Jackson, and Justin Tucker all going on Sunday night. And their performances in that game will determine how that matchup is going to go.
Yeah, it could all come down to that particular game right there. So if I can stop yawning. So, with that being said, we could go ahead and give the people the update on the game right now between Indianapolis and Tennessee. I see that Indianapolis has the ball, and let me get the game cast going on right now. Big matchup in the AFC South. And the Colts have just so it looks like they've kicked a field goal, I guess.
Yeah, so they kicked a field goal toward the at the end of the first half, but they have a first and goal situation, a second goal, excuse me, from the Tennessee 2-yard line.
They're looking to take the lead here. They're right now behind 17-13 against Tennessee. And of course, we always keep you folks up to date on that match as the game progresses.
Yeah, but Indianapolis just scored a touchdown. Naheem Hines just scored his second touchdown of the game. So the Colts have the lead.
So there you go. Right now, why don't we go ahead and start talking about the rest of the game? Sunday, we only have only 5 1 p.m. Eastern matchup games. And this first one is going to take us to Cleveland, where the Cleveland Browns will be host to the Tennessee Titans. And as we go ahead and get started with Flynn on talking about this game, the Browns are picked by 3 in this one. So, Flynn, go ahead with this.
So it's the Houston Texans and the Cleveland Browns, but there are a bunch of matchups that I don't think bode well for the Texans, particularly their wide receivers going up against Cleveland secondary. and Cleveland's offensive line going up against Houston's defensive line. This has been a week of drama for the Houston Texans because their main PR guy was fired in the middle of the season, and their PR guy is one of the best in the entire league, and it's offensive to the senses what the Texans have done over the last several years, especially since Bob McNair's death. The Texans are up there as one of the most dysfunctional franchises in the NFL, and it's shown this season. And they barely beat the Jaguars last Sunday. I think the Browns coming off a bye week. I think they're going to come in with more urgency. I'll take the team with a better coach, better defense. So give me the Browns to win this game over Houston, 27-20.
All right. Flynn's going 27-20. Going with the Browns on that one. So, Natalie, how do you see this?
Yeah, this one is going to be a close one. This can go either way, but I believe Nick Chubb is set to come back for this game, which is going to be huge for them. That's going to give them a spark in the offense. I think that'll be just enough to give them the edge. So give me the Browns over the Texans, 24-20.
All right. Will, what do you say about this?
It hurts to know that Odell Beckham is no longer playing for the season, and that was Mayfield's best receiver. Now they're going to have to adjust some things with Chubb coming back, and David Njoku's going to have to step up at tight end. While, like Flynn said, I mean, the Texans got more drama than a soap opera on ABC, so this is a no-brainer right here. So give me the Browns, but I see this one actually very close. It's going to be a dogfight. Give me Cleveland 30-27 over the Houston.
All right. Mark Leota, what do you think about this one?
Short form, Cleveland wins.
I don't think I could have said that better myself. And yeah, I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns with this one as well. It's going to be, I'd say it's going to be kind of low scoring. Browns take it by a field goal, 17-14.
Low scoring one, huh, Tim?
Yeah, probably. So I guess we're all on board with the Browns there.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, let's go to this is probably going to be one of those games where you might flip on maybe every now and then, but probably not watch the thing all the way through. It's the Washington football team traveling to Detroit to take on the Detroit Lions. And seeing the line here. Oh, Flynn, this one's a pick 'em.
No, wait. So this one's now a pick 'em
Wow.
because
It's
earlier in the week
even.
I had the Lions favored by 4, but it's since become a pick 'em. I'm gonna take Washington here because if you actually watch the game, the second half in the game against the Giants on Sunday, they were able to move the ball up and down the field at will. So, but if Washington's going to win the game, they can't have 5 giveaways like they did on Sunday. But with that in mind, I think that they're going to cut down on the giveaways, and Alex Smith is going to tear up this pathetic Detroit defense. We saw that with Dalvin Cook. I think Antonio Gibson, who I'm starting in my flex this week, is going to have a huge day of running the football. So I'm going to take Washington with a 31-19.
So it looks like Flynn's going with the no names. You going with him, John? Natalie?
Unfortunately, no. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think both defenses are going to struggle. Even though the Lions might not have Galladay available, they still have another reliable receiver in Marvin Jones. And I think he's going to be the difference maker, which is just going to give them the edge, but by the narrowest of margins. Give me the Lions 21-18.
Oh, wow. That is so close to my score, but let's get to what Will has to say.
As Derrick Henry gets stopped at the line of scrimmage here. Yeah, I have Galladay on my lineup, and he's not going to start for a second day. So, and Natalie has a point here. Both defenses have underperformed, especially last couple weeks for the Washington Vacants. So I have a new name for Washington, the Vacants, because there's nothing there. But I do agree with Flynn said. I mean, Antonio Gibson, what an addition for the Washington football team. This guy knows how to score, but I see this as a mid-score game. But the edge has to go to Washington here. So I mean, Lions do get flustered. Their defense needs to really find something and find it quick. So give me Washington, but I'm going to say only 20-14. I don't see this as favorable, but Washington will take it by 6 points.
Yeah, and you actually do you have a point on this because Natalie mentioned earlier that Marvin Jones, that he thinks Marvin Jones is the difference. I actually do have Marvin Jones, but I'm leaving him on on my bench because he's going to Kendall Fuller and with all they out, and Kendall Fuller has played very, very well throughout the course of the season. So I think the defense is going to make some big plays on Detroit as the Colts actually blocked the punt and returned it for a touchdown. So,
oh my goodness.
Gosh.
Yeah, and I have the Colts defense in my other league, so that's big for me. Defense / special teams.
All right, so we got 2 for the no names, 1 for the Lions. Leota, how do you see this one?
I'm going to go with the Lions.
Oh.
And guess what? I've got the swing vote, and I'm actually taking the Lions too in a low scoring game. I'm taking the Lions 21-17.
Okay.
Now, before we go any further, I just wanted to say that I had the Titans winning tonight's game by a score of 24-20. So, what did y'all have, Flynn?
Yeah, the score I had for tonight's game, I'm gonna pull. I had this is my week 9 pick. Yeah, the score I had for this game was 30-24 Tennessee.
Okay, Natalie, who did you have?
I didn't really have a score prepared, but I had the Titans winning.
Okay, Will, how about you?
I had the Titans 33-30, and if Tennessee scores on 2 ends and 1 field goal here, they might be closer than I would have thought.
Oh, okay. Mark, what did you have for tonight's game?
Titans.
You had Titans, so Titans across the board. And we are now going to go to a game which will guarantee to be one of the most probably lopsided games for this week. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars at 1-7 going to Green Bay to take on the 6-2 Panthers. And the Packers. The Packers. The Green Bay Packers. And Flynn, the Packers are picked by 13.5 from what I see here.
What?
Yeah, but for me, 13.5 points isn't particularly that much. It isn't particularly what the spread I want if I want to take the Packers winning cover. The Jaguars showed some things during the second half that I really, really liked. But it's hanging tough with Sean Watson and the Texans, and I think that they're gonna make this close against the Packers, but I think the Packers are going to save some energy for their big matchup next week on the road against Indianapolis. So I'm going to take the Packers to win this game 34-24. I think Devontae Adams has another big game, 10 catches, 125 yards, and a touchdown. And that'll go a big way to getting Green Bay to 7-2. And there's basically 6 teams in the NFC that are going to be vying for that number 1 seed over the next next 8 weeks, and Green Bay is 6-2, and they might do some things that might warrant that number 1 seed.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. Natalie, who do you got here?
Yeah, this game is pretty much a no-brainer. Packers have the better team all around. I'd actually be surprised if the Jaguars make this close, and their offense is very weak. So give me the Packers 31-13.
All right, Will.
Okay, as now the Titans get the ball, they're stopped on their own 22. Well, let's just be honest. Gardner Minshew hasn't proven much value for at least for me for Jacksonville, and then they got this other quarterback. I'll give him his just due, but not much here. I see Aaron Rodgers throwing another 4 touchdowns in this game. Whatnot. Devontae Adams is going to be the key factor to this in route slaughter, giving the Packers over Jacksonville 35-17.
All right, Leota, you going to make this unanimous?
Yeah, I may as well. And I'm actually going to give a score prediction for this one because I have a feeling Green Bay's going to take this easily. 41-10 for the Packers.
Oh!
Say that again, Leota.
41-10 for the Packers.
He did go there.
That is the exact same result I have.
What the hell?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I could have gone said 68-1, but you can't get single point scores in the NFL.
No.
True.
No?
True. Yes, I've got the Packers beating the Jaguars 41-10.
Let's see how much fun you're gonna have up in Toronto with Jamie, Tim.
And whose roommate is Jamie? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Last I checked, Flynn, Jamie doesn't live in Texas. He lives with me up here in the Great White North. Now sit your ass down.
My ass is already
I'm kidding with you. I'm kidding with you. You know that.
All right, now we gotta go from a lopsided game to we're going to the NFC least. We got the New York Giants at 2-7. They're at home this week to take on those filthy Philadelphia chickens. And those chickens are picked by 3.5. So, Flynn, I don't see anything exciting in this one.
Well, to showcase how awful the NFC East is, Tim. Is that what you're trying to say?
He's just showing his dismay for the Eagles. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, but I think this is going to be Philadelphia's game to lose. They're coming off the bye week. Miles Sanders is going to be back in rotation. He'll probably be eased in a little bit, so I think Boston Scott's going to have some opportunities. I will take some snaps with Carson Wentz, but I think the bye with the way the Eagles have been playing this season, I think the bye week could not have come at a better time because you look at Carson Wentz and how underwhelming he's been all season. I think the bye week is going to straighten a lot of things out, particularly when it comes to him and Doug Peterson. And the Giants are coming off a game where they forced 5 turnovers against Washington and didn't have any, and yet they only won by 3. I think it's going to take another turnover-free game for the Giants to have a chance in this game, but I'm going to take the Eagles to win and cover. They'll win this game 31-20.
All right, Natalie, what about this one?
Yeah, this one was actually a really close one for me. The Giants were so close to beating them in their last meeting, but this time I think the Giants are out for vengeance. They haven't beaten the Eagles since 2016, and I think I actually really think they're going to get the monkey off their back. They're finally going to beat the Eagles for the first time in 4 years. Game-winning field goal, 23-20.
Oh, sounds like a very tasty recipe right there. Hey, Will, what do you say?
All I see on Twitter these last couple weeks is NFC East. What is trending with these 4 teams? Like, I just wish Dak Prescott can come back because I don't see this division even being likable anymore as far as this game's concerned. Flynn pretty much said it. Miles Sanders is going to come back, and Darius Slay has been doing pretty much good wonders for the Eagles' defense. It's just going to come down to who wants it more, but as much as it's going to hurt you, Tim, I want the Giants to win, but Carson Wentz be pulling magic slips out of his ass. I'm sorry. So I hate to do it. I got the Eagles 24-13 over the Giants, and Derrick Henry got a first down.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Leota, who do you see in this slop fest?
I say the She-Gulls over the
Did
Giants.
you just say She-Gulls?
I think you just
Yes,
said that.
I went there.
I think you just said that.
Oh, my God.
But a low-scoring affair. 14-9.
14-9, very, very interesting. Well, the Giants are going nowhere fast. But
Neither are the Cowboys, for that
well,
matter.
true. But it seems like we got more problems than anybody right now in that division. But I'm gonna. I hate to do this, but I'm going 28-21. Fly chickens fly.
Come on.
No, Tim needs a drink because, it sounded so dismissive in his mouth, but he knows what he has to pick.
Well, let's see if I'm the only one that's correct. We'll find out soon.
Yeah, we'll
I've
find
been,
out.
I've been the only one right. I've done it several times. Been the only one correct. So we'll see.
Now we go to a competitive, a competitive division, the NFC South. We got the Carolina Panthers at 3-6 taking on the 6-3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay is picked by 5.5. Flynn, go.
Yeah, this is a case where I think the Tampa Bay wins, Carolina covers, and Carolina played a heck of a game on Sunday against Kansas City. That I said last week on the podcast that it wouldn't surprise me if Carolina made it remotely competitive against the Chiefs. This is all the vision of Matt Rule and Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator, and Teddy Bridgewater slinging the ball to Curtis Samuel, Robbie Anderson, and DJ Moore. They have the best trio of wide receivers in the National Football League. And even though their defense is going to be leaky, and I think Brady's going to tear apart their defense after seeing them once earlier this season. These are the type of games where the NFL needs to recognize that Matt Rule is a pretty damn good coach, and the Giants should be ashamed of themselves of not signing Matt Rule to a long contract. Yes, Joe Judge has been pretty good, but this is 33-28. This is going to be an entertaining game, but give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the game.
All right, Natalie.
Yeah, this one was actually a pretty close one. Despite the Panthers having a good offense, their defense is subpar. You know what they say, defense typically wins games. But it's going to be a one-score game. It's going to be a kind of a close one. Give me the Bucks by a score of 28-22.
All righty, we got that you down. And Will, what do you see in this matchup?
Okay, best trio of wide receivers in the NFL, Flynn. There's another set of trio good wide receivers, but in the NFC West, we'll get to that game later.
Mm-hmm.
But right here, it's going to be a dogfight between Bridgewater and Brady, really. But let's face it, Tampa Bay constructed what they had to construct, and the results were there. Except for last Sunday night against the Saints, they got their asses handed to them. But I don't think it happens again. So give me Tampa Bay. I'm going to trust them again. It's going to be in the middle. I'll say 28-21 for Tampa Bay.
All righty then. All right, Mark, what do you got on this one?
Give me Father Tom and the Bucks.
Father Tom and the Bucks.
Father Tom.
Interesting name right there. Well, I say Tom Brady is mad as hell after last week.
Yeah, he should be. That was an ugly performance. I mean, come on now.
And
He was the reason I lost to Andrew last week.
And one more thing. Antonio Clown should just sit his ass down and retire from football.
He had only one catch for 8 yards. One catch, 8 yards. That was it.
But out of how many targets, though?
And guess which idiot started him in fantasy last week? Me.
It was you.
I say this is going to be an interesting matchup, but I'm going to take the Bucks and Tom Brady. I'm going to take them to beat the Panthers by a score of 27-20. So it looks like we are all unanimous with the new Brady Bunch, if you want to call it that. Next, we have a matchup.
Oh, Gostkowski misses yet another field goal.
Spare you from trying. I'm going to spare you the trouble of hearing my attempted rendition of the Brady Bunch theme because it's going to come out terrible.
Oh gosh, no!
Don't worry, I'm not going to do it because A, it's going to come out terrible, and B, it's not part of what we're discussing.
Why miss the field goal? Why, Gostkowski? Why?
Yeah, he usually is pretty good at field goals, but I don't know what's going on there. But we have this is one of those games where you might want to keep an eye on this because this could be very intriguing. It's the Buffalo Bills going into Arizona to take on the Cardinals. The Cardinals are 2.5-point favorites. So, Flynn, what you got here?
Yeah,
Wow.
there are a bunch of 4:00 games this week because CBS is covering the Masters. So that's why all the early games are going to be on Fox.
Right.
But when it comes to the Bills and Cardinals, these are two of the most entertaining teams in the entire league. You have two outstanding young quarterbacks in Josh Allen and Kyler Murray. I think that they're going to go toe-to-toe with each other. Buffalo getting John Brown back was a huge boost to Buffalo offensively. That's why they were able to move the ball up and down the field so much. It also helped that Seattle's secondary without Jamal Adams is dreadful. I think when it comes to it, I think it's about which defense do you trust the most at the end. I'll take the Bills defense over Arizona. I think Trey White's going to have a late pick to seal the game. I'll take the Bills to win this game and cover 34-31.
All right. So that sounds pretty interesting. Natalie, what do you got?
Yeah, this one is going to be a close one. Both teams are strong on both sides of the field. Very strong in offense, very strong in defense. I mean, although the Bills and Josh Allen are trying to get their act together, I don't think it's going to be enough. So I think overall, Kyler Murray, he's better at rushing. He scrambles better than Allen, which I think is going to make the difference. So give me a pretty high-scoring affair here. Give me the Cardinals 35-32.
So we got Natalie for the Cardinals. We got Flynn for the Bills. And Will, who you got?
This game was so hard to pick. I'm still stuck. I'm stuck, Tim.
This was the toughest game of the week for me to pick, too.
This is definitely difficult. I have Josh Allen. And what can I say? He only had one bad game, but the rest he's been pretty much on point. But then I'm not going to discredit Kyler Murray. He may be short, the guy can run. But you know what? It might bite me in the ass. This game is going to overtime. Buffalo 41-38.
Wow. Yeah. Mark, what you got?
Okay. I'm not trying to be a homer or anything. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible, particularly this matchup, but only because Canada doesn't have their own NFL team. But because they've been doing so well this year, and because they're not that far away from where I actually live, I'm going with Buffalo.
Alrighty. Very, very interesting. Nice battle, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray. That would be a matchup that I would pay money to go see. I wouldn't mind doing that. And we are now going to Las Vegas.
What's your pick, Tim? We need to get your pick.
Oh, my pick for the Bills and Cardinals. Yeah, two great young quarterbacks, but I'm going to take the Bills. I got the Bills by 4, 31-27 over the Cardinals.
And I'm still the only person with a solo pick.
So I'm going to take the Bills. Take the Bills to circle the wagons, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go to Las Vegas, where the Raiders are going to be at home against the Denver Broncos. And the Raiders are picked by 4.5, Lynn.
Yeah,
That sounds about right.
I think that margin seems about right. I gotta take the Raiders to win the game. I'm gonna take the Broncos to cover. And the Raiders defense I think is gonna make some big plays, but that if Herbert came back and took down the Raiders, that would have been something for his resume. But I think that this team to me is all about Denver's defensive line against the Raiders' offensive line and Josh Jacobs. I think Jacobs is going to have a good game. I think that Derek Carr is going to find a reliable target in Darren Waller, who is the most prolific tight end in football playing this weekend as Travis Kelce's Chiefs are off. I'm going to take the Raiders in a close one, 26-23 over the Denver Broncos.
All right, Tally.
Yeah, I think this one is going to be my my lowest combined score for the week. I mean, both teams are fairly weak. It can go either way. I mean, Henry Ruggs just isn't cutting it as a rookie, but they still have a better group of people overall. So give me a very low score and a fair here, 17-10 for the Raiders.
Mm-hmm. Will.
This is where I did not think the Raiders would do very good this season, but I've been very shocked at how they played. But my concern right now is the linebacker position for the Raiders. I mean, they let a lot of points go against them, especially last game against the Chargers. I mean, they're going to have to figure out something there, but nothing worse I can say about the Broncos, though. I mean, I like Drew Lock, but something's not right down there. Something is really not right down there. But anyway, Raiders have the advantage. Give me Las Vegas, 27-17.
All right, then. All right, Mark, what you got on this one?
Honestly, I should pick against them, considering that they've been fined several times already this year for repeatedly violating the COVID protocols. But viva Las Vegas!
Yeah, I can say that, and I will go with the Raiders as well. I see a moderate scoring game here. I see a big game for Josh Jacobs, one of the best young running backs in the league right now. And I got the Raiders winning this one 27-20 over the Denver Broncos. So we'll just see what happens there. Very, very interesting matchup.
And we got a scoring update.
Wow, we got a score. Jacoby Brissett rushed this for a 2-yard touchdown.
Yeah, they took Phillip Rivers out of the game, apparently.
I guess the old man's taken out, huh? So the Colts are ahead now. Yep, touchdown.
There you have it.
Set up the middle. Hey, diddle, Jacoby Brissett up the middle. 33-17 makes it 34-17 with the extra point if he makes it. I didn't see this coming. I did not.
No, neither did I.
Let's
Well-
see. And the kick is good.
Okay. So we got 34-17 with about 9:21 as far as I see in the
Yeah,
fourth.
3-score game. For all intents and purposes, I think this game is over.
Wow.
This is a sensational win for the Colts.
Yeah.
And I think we may have a pretty sensational game here with two young quarterbacks. We got the Miami Dolphins at home against the Los Angeles Chargers. Looks like it's Tua time once again. And let's see, the Dolphins are picked by 1.5. So, Flynn, what do you got here?
Yeah, and I remember we all watched the NFL draft together, and a lot of the conversation was who were the Dolphins going to take with the fifth overall pick. That it was between Tua and Herbert. That they even though the Dolphins had some issues with the Tua's medical records, obviously because of the injury Tua sustained at Alabama, but the Tua went at 5. The Chargers responded by taking Herbert at 6. But both of these quarterbacks are going to be excellent in their careers. I think this is going to be a matter of which defense is going to step up more. But I just think the Chargers, with all the bad luck that they've had this season, I think their luck is going to continue. Obviously, the Derwin James injury was significant hit for the Chargers' playoff hopes, and I can't pick LA. I gotta take Miami. They've got a vibe going on with Brian Flores. He's a tremendous coach, and Anthony Lynn can't coach his way out of a paper bag. I think the Chargers are going to really have to consider parting ways with Anthony Lynn at the end of the year because clearly it's not working for him. That he's made some questionable decisions, especially this season when it came to his handling of starting Herbert and Tyrod Taylor. The medical issue that Taylor had at the start of the year, and he didn't handle that press conference well. I'm going to take the Miami to win 30-27. And yes, Miami had a very impressive victory on the road in Arizona against Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. So that was a big win for the Cardinals. For Miami.
All right. So we got Flynn going with the fish. And Natalie, who do you got?
Yeah. So far, Tua has been very impressive so far. If he keeps this up, he might be a serious contender for Rookie of the Year. I think that, in all honesty, I think they should have started Tua from the start.
Bingo.
If I'm not mistaken,
Bingo.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe the Bills currently have a 2-game lead on the Dolphins for first place. If they started Tua in the beginning, I think they would only be 1 game down or maybe even tied with Buffalo. They're a very sneaky team. They have some pretty decent players. Because Tua is on a roll, I gotta ride the Tua train. Give me the Dolphins 28-24.
Yeah, looks like Natalie's getting on the train. You getting on that train too, Will?
No, I'm gonna change my ticket and I'm going to Compton. See, here's the thing. Tua, he's 2-0, very good. But look who he took over for. Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, is Fitzpatrick done in Miami? Are they going to believe in Tua time? I mean, that has time to tell. Now, don't discredit Justin Herbert, though. This dude is something else, too. I mean, look what he just played against the Raiders. I mean, this man got some footwork, so I can't jump on the Tua train with you. I don't see it just yet, so I'm going to take the Chargers 31-20.
Interesting. Very interesting. Mark, what do you see on this one?
Fins up.
Enough said. Enough said. Fins up. And I say, fins up. I think this kid too has got something special. I think this is what the Miami Dolphins needed all along this season. I agree with Natalie. They should have started him from the very beginning. I've got the Dolphins 28-20 over the Chargers, and the Dolphins are my lock of the week. Now we got to go to a game which could be kind of another one of the lopsided matchups for this week. The Pittsburgh Steelers. They are at home this week against the Cincinnati Bengals. And right now, I don't see a line on it. Flynn, you got a line on this one?
Yeah, Pittsburgh is favored by 7.5.
Okay. 7.5.
Yeah, and this game, I'm not afraid to take the points with the Cincinnati Bengals. The Pittsburgh Steelers played by far their worst game of the season on Sunday against Garrett Gilbert and the Dallas Cowboys. That Mike Tomlin couldn't coach his way out of a paper bag in the first half. They unnecessarily went for it on fourth down with 45 seconds left, where a field goal would have forced the Cowboys to go down and get the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to set up overtime. Instead, they needed Micah Fitzpatrick to bail out Mike Tomlin. It was a classic trap game for the Steelers. I don't see how that win's going to make them want to play better. I say the Steelers are going to win, but it's going to be close, 20-16, and Cincinnati is coming off its bye week.
So Natalie, who do you got with this matchup here? I think he's got some audio problems.
Yeah.
There goes the laundry.
Yeah, let's see if I can.
All right, so he's saying 38-9.
Oh, the private chat. Let me see. Steelers 38-9. Now that was about as bad as I thought the Cowboys would lose to the Steelers last week, but it turned out that way. But he's going with the Steelers 38-9 over the Bengals. So, Will, who you got?
I couldn't have said it better myself. That performance against Dallas was so absurd. I thought they'd play better than that. But, I mean, this is basically where I knew Ben was hurt, but he came back. So, I mean, the Bengals, as Mark would say, they can't be no different than Dallas. But I like Joe Burrow, too. Don't get me wrong. Overall number one pick doing some things, but he's going to need more time. And, I mean, and then like Flint said, Minka Fitzpatrick basically saved Mike Tomlin. I mean, he's the X factor of that defense. So, yeah, Steelers 34, Cincinnati 10, and that's just being generous.
Yep. So it looks like it was old Minka Dinka Doo to save the Steelers there. So, Mark, who do you got for this one?
I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And I am going to do the same. Probably the same way they got to the Cowboys, because the Cowboys kind of fell off the cliff in the fourth quarter of last week's game. So I'm taking the Steelers 35-17 over the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and now okay. Oh yeah. Very interesting matchup in the NFC Western Division. We have the Seattle Seahawks with Russell Wilson heading into Los Angeles to take on the Rams in this one. And, very close. A 1.5 point underdog. No, 1.5 point favorites for the Rams, Flynn.
Yeah, one of the main talking points on my podcast this week, and my latest episodes of Hooked on Sports are available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify on Hooked on Sports at mine. Yeah, one of my main talking points is that this game is going to tell a lot about how the Rams are going to play out the rest of the season, right? Because I look at their schedule. They have games against they still have to play the Patriots. They still have to play the Jets. So you figure that that's 7 wins. Another win could be 8 wins. They still have a lot of. They still haven't played Seattle yet. They still haven't played Arizona yet. They have a home game against San Francisco coming up later in the season. But I think that these are the types of games that the Rams need to win if they want to show themselves to be a team worthy of competing in the NFC for the Super Bowl. But you look at the Rams' schedule so far this season. I mean, they had 5 wins this season. 1 was against the Bears, and the other 4 against the NFC East. So I'm going to take Seattle by a field goal. I think both teams are going to move the ball up and down the field. Yes, I still have issues with Seattle's defense, but I trust Russell Wilson in the big spots again. I think he's going to find DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I think I really like those matchups, even if they're against the Rams secondary. So I'm going to take Seattle to win 31-28. Tim?
Oh, sorry. Got a little thing here where I can mute it like this here, and I guess I accidentally pressed it, so. All right, Natalie, we got the Seahawks and the Rams. What say you?
Yeah, this one was actually a tough one. This was the most difficult matchup for me to decide personally. As far as both teams have their advantages from both sides of the field, but I think the Seahawks have bigger problems right now. Chris Carson is still injured; he's very questionable. Carlos Hyde is down. The new guy that stepped in, he did absolutely awful. DJ Dallas, I don't really have much faith in him. However, they do have some decent receivers, but in the end, I gotta go for an upset here. Give me the Rams 34-30.
Oh, looks like Natalie got an upset special here. Got the Rams over the Seahawks. Will, how do you see this one going?
Now, Flynn, remember I mentioned earlier about those trio receivers? You've got the best 3 receivers in this game right here. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and David Moore. They are a lot better. Let's put that out there. Now, how is Seattle upset by 1.5? Why is Seattle the underdog here? How is that possible? I mean, the Rams can't do any worse. But I guess it's in LA. But can we go back to how Russell Wilson was knocked down 16 times against the Bills last week? What the hell was going on with him? He didn't play his best game. But they didn't lose by much. Can the Rams do the same thing as Buffalo? No. I do not think so. So Seattle better wake up, because this is my CTDF lock of the week. Give me the Seahawks 35-30 over the Rams. And Metcalf gets 2 touchdowns.
All right, so Will is locking the Seahawks. Mark, what do you say?
I am going to lock in with Seattle.
Lock Seattle in here. I got Seattle winning too. Rams are going to have an okay game, but like he said, probably the best trio of receivers in the league is in Seattle, along with the most underrated, underappreciated quarterback in the league, Russell Wilson, who I believe should be the MVP. I got Seattle winning this one by a score of 30-21.
This is the third game I'm by myself on.
Don't worry.
And Will has one solo pick.
All right, we got an interesting matchup here. We got the Saints are at home. New Orleans Saints hosting the San Francisco 49ers. Ooh, Saints are picked by 9.5, Lynn.
Bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, shit. And remember, there was a time back in the day where I picked San Francisco to win the Super Bowl preseason. I mean, where has San Francisco gone since then? I mean, Garoppolo, Kittle, Bosa, Thomas. You can go up and down the list as impactful players that have been that have not been able to suit up for Kyle Shanahan. But if this bad stretch by the 49ers that tells us anything, that Kyle Shanahan is the right coach for San Francisco, that he is the reason the Niners have been somewhat competitive in some of these games. But the Saints showed some big things defensively. That the additions of Marcus Davenport defensively and Michael Thomas offensively make a huge difference when it comes to looking for difference makers. Michael Thomas in his return led all Saints wide receivers in receptions and receiving yards. He's going to play a huge role in the Saints offense going forward. Yes, the Saints offense is still going to revolve around Kamara, because that's where the Saints have been most successful. Having their game plan revolve around Kamara, but having Michael Thomas back in the saddle opens the entire playbook up for Sean Payton to call plays. So give me the Saints to win this game 34-20 over the 49ers.
All right, Natalie, what do you say?
Yeah, yes, pretty much without Kittle and their group of running backs, they don't really have much to work with. But I will give 49ers credit. They actually do have a decent defense led by Fred Warner. He's pretty much carrying their defense. And without him, they'd be far worse. But I do think defensive-wise, the 49ers are going to make it interesting. But it's not going to be quite enough. So give me the Saints in a squeaker, 30-28.
Ooh, squeaker. That kind of sounds a little bit delicious right there. So, Will, what do you say?
I've just been disappointed with all these injuries my Niners have been having. I think the worst one was Kittle and his high leg injury. I think it's a similar injury he had not that long ago. And like 1/3, or actually 2/3 of our Super Bowl roster is either injured or God knows what. This hurts. But on the other hand, I mean, and Nick Mullins, I mean, he has a lot of promise, but that Saints defense has gotten a lot better. And I hate to say what I'm about to say here. I hope Angie's not listening. Yep, I have to do that route. I'm gonna have to go against my team here. I got the Saints, sadly, but 28-17. It hurts, but I have to do it. 2017 New Orleans.
That's right, Will. I'll pray for you. So, Mark, what do you think about this matchup?
Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Yeah, New Orleans.
Yep. And unfortunately, I got the Saints winning this one too.
Making it unanimous.
I'm just flabbergasted, baffled at how great the 49ers were last year, only to see them going through what they're going through this year. It's almost as bad as what I'm going through with my Cowboys. I mean, it's that bad. Fortunately for that reason, I've got the Saints 35-21. So see what happens there. Let's go to Sunday night. Sunday night game. We got a real good one here. Let's get back to my screen here. Sunday night game. Oh, Baltimore Ravens at New England Patriots. Lamar Jackson against Cam Newton. And looks like this is Flynn. This is pretty much what I expected. Ravens picked by 7.
Yeah, I couldn't circle Baltimore fast enough. In fact, this is going to be my lock of the week. Because the Patriots needed all 60 minutes to take down the Jets. The Jets were actually relevant for 60 minutes of a football game.
Well, actually,
good.
what 55 minutes?
All 60 minutes because Nick Folk needed a game-winning field goal as time expired to beat the Jets.
I got you.
Yeah, and so I have to take Baltimore 31 to 16.
All right. Flynn flying with the Ravens. Natalie.
Well, I'm just going to say it's finally bittersweet to see the Patriots under 500. And I think it's definitely going to continue. They're going to stay under 500 for quite a while. Give me the Ravens 32-11.
Ouch. That's pretty bad there. Will, what did he say?
The only thing I'm not surprised about is what Flynn said. How do you make the whole damn show on Monday night the best performance against a team who might get Trevor Lawrence next season in the draft? And forget the under 500. Where in the world is Julian Edelman at? That's the biggest question of them all. Where is Edelman at? He's been pretty absent. He hasn't really done nothing.
Yeah, and he's on IR now.
That adds to the greatness of Tom Brady, Will.
Give me the Ravens 35-17 and a whole lot of prayer that Stephon Gilmore at least does something, but he may be gone at the end of next season. He's on the trading block, but Ravens will win here 35-17.
All right, Mark, go ahead and give your pick here.
And no Tom Brady for New England. England means no success there. So that's therefore the Baltimore Ravens. Oh, but not only that, and I think Marty's going to like this. I have Baltimore as the lock of the week on my side.
All right, let's put up a hashtag here. Yeah, this is what we need right here. This is my special hashtag of the week. Hashtag APB for Edelman. Where is the guy?
Well, Natalie just said IR, but I'm talking about all season long. He hasn't been really shown nothing before he even went to IR.
Right.
Well, I am going to jump on board, and I will make it a unanimous decision for all of us. I'm taking the Ravens myself. They're going to really make the Patriots work for this, but I got the Ravens 35-20. And by the way, whoever Cam Newton's tailor is, he needs to be arrested. I mean, every time I see Cam Newton in a press conference, I gotta say, oh my God! I mean, someone needs to call the fashion police.
No, romperroom.org. Look at those colors; they're atrocious. But anyway, moving on.
But I digress. And finally, a very interesting NFC North matchup for the Monday night event. The Chicago Bears are going to be at their legendary home of Soldier Field, taking on the Minnesota Vikings. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. And
The
it's
Minnesota Salt Shakers. That's just for you, Nels.
yeah, that's right. That's right. We got and Flynn, Minnesota is picked by 2, if I'm not mistaken. 2.5. 2.5 picked Flynn.
Yeah, so for some reason, the Bears' offense made the Tennessee Titans' defense look good on Sunday because the final score in Tennessee, the Titans lose 34-17. This comes a week after the Titans shut down the Bears' offense for 3 quarters. So I don't know what that tells you, Tim, but it tells us a lot about where the Bears are headed. That they started 5-1, they've lost 3 in a row, and they're going to make it 5-5. I'm going to take the Vikings to win this game and cover 21-17. So Mark Nels' Vikings won't be salt shakers this week. They'll be that they'll be salt shaked because the Bears are going to be salt shaked.
Yes, I would suggest if I take my Bears, I'd like to take them shaken, not stirred. Natalie.
Yeah, to be honest, I was actually almost tempted to pick the Bears. I wanted to give them the home field, but I couldn't do it. The Vikings have the better weapons right now offensively, and the Bears are dealing with their share of injuries, which is definitely going to cost them this game for sure. So give me the Vikings by a score of 34-24.
All right, Will. We got this matchup between the Vikings and the Bears. Who you got?
I was listening through. I just got 2 words for you, Dalvin Cook. Look how he's played and the points he's got from my roster. Too bad, Nels. I scored on him before you did. But I mean, let's see. But all seriousness, Dalvin Cook these last 2 games pretty much says, I'm going to stay in Minnesota because you can't judge the guy off a contract dispute. You can only judge him for what he's done on the field. And look what he's done on the field.
Right.
Score.
Uh huh.
I don't give Chicago any sense of pity because just like a couple seasons ago, they could be hot, then they could be not. And then if John Flynn, remember what I said last season, Matt Nagy is a flippin' joke here.
Yeah,
Does he want to
right.
stay?
Yeah,
Does he want to
he is.
leave? What the hell?
He can't coach his way out of a paper bag either.
But this is a no-brainer. Give me the Vikings. 30. Let's go 33-24. Dalvin Cook gets 2 more touchdowns. I think Dalvin Cook is going to go for the rushing title. I think he could do it.
All right, Marco, what you got on this?
Give me Minnesota or give me some of Nels' salty potato chips. Sorry, not sorry, Nels.
Oh hell
Yeah,
no!
and you're going to give them to Jamie after he gives you that, right?
Flynn.
Oh well, I mean this Dalvin Cook, he's really warmed up over the last couple of weeks. I mean, if he keeps away, he's keeps going. I mean, yeah, this could be pretty good. They could get the Vikings into possibly a division championship. So yeah, give me the Vikings. I'm going to take the Vikings by a score of 27-20. And I can see 2 touchdowns from Cook. I can see that. So that's our schedule. And as we just said, it just went final in Nashville, where the Indianapolis Colts have defeated the Tennessee Titans by a score of 34-17. Indianapolis now 5-3.
No, they're tied.
Oh,
They're tied at 6-3.
Yeah, but the Colts are in first place technically because of the head-to-head.
Yeah, of the head-to-head, the Colts are your new leaders of the AFC South.
wow. I mean, who saw that coming? Colts and Titans tied atop of the division. Colts with a slight advantage. Wow. It just goes to prove to you people that anything can happen in 60 minutes of football, you know. So Well, I guess that is our show. That is the schedule. We got the scores, we got the teams. I am getting very, very sleepy. So I just want to thank John Flynn. Y'all be sure to listen to Hooked on Sports. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you can find podcasts. Look up Hook on Sports. Two podcasts during the season, during the NFL season. He's got his NFL picks and he's got his news from around the sports world. John Natale, our commissioner, always great to have him.
Of course.
Our champion, Will.
Yep, it's always a pleasure.
It looks like a little bit better chance of going for that third ring,
Yep.
Yeah. And Mark Leota, good to see you back here, buddy.
Good to be back here.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for the CTDF Fantasy Football Show. Thank you so much for watching. We will see y'all next Thursday night. That's on the 19th. And maybe then we'll talk about a schedule for Thanksgiving week because, of course, we may not do a show on Thursday, but we'll do a show sometime during that week. My name's Tim McClellan. For all my buddies here, thanks for watching. Remember, folks, be a good sport. See ya.